Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to my studio. So earlier on in the year I made a video explaining exactly how I built my own Plein-Air Pochade box, just using a cheap wooden box I bought on Amazon and then bits and bobs that I had lying around in the studio. As you can see, I'm still using it, so it hasn't fallen apart, but there are a few adjustments that I've made. There's a few improvements that I've made to it. So whether you've already built your own Plein-Air box or you're planning on building one, this video is going to help you because I'm going to show you how to avoid some mistakes. Also, I'm going to give you links in the description to where you can buy all the materials that I've used, and also where you can buy the tripod, which tripod works best, where you can get this little arm thing so that you can attach it to your painting and film your paintings. Also, even if you've bought a Plein-Air box and you just want to improve it, this video should be able to help with that as well. So in the original video that I'd made, I explained how to make the box, how to add in the hinges, how to add in these hinges on the side so you can open it up and then tighten it by adjusting these little clips here. But the main mistake, I'll cover that first because I think it's good to get that one out of the way, is, let me just take this out, is when I made the box, originally I'd had a small screw thread that I drilled the sort of hole for it to fit into the bottom of the box, and then I'd glued it in, but unfortunately that wasn't very strong. So what I've done since is I've bought this Swiss cheese plate, which has lots of little screw threads that fit onto the tripod. And I've since drilled this into the bottom of the box, because what was happening before is that small circular screw thread that I'd put into the bottom of the box, it didn't really hold the box very steady. And what would happen is if there was lots of wind or for whatever reason my box got knocked into, the whole box would actually fall off the screw thread and the screw thread would stay attached to the tripod. So by drilling this in, this holds really steady to the bottom of the box, and then I can just screw the tripod in to this bit. It's aluminium and it's very lightweight, and now I'll put a link in the description so that you can buy this on Amazon. So from there, I can then take off this little plate which fits onto the tripod. And I can just screw this into the bottom of my box just by twisting this bit here. So another adjustment that I've made to the box is, in order to give it more mixing space, instead of just having the palette and my little medium pot attached here like so, because this medium pot does take up a little bit of the mixing space on my palette. So what I've done is I've got, using an old box, wooden box that I had lying around, I've drilled a small hole in the side and then cut a hole underneath and attached a little hook thing on here. And what I can do with this is I can unscrew this little screw here and then push, using that little hole, push this screw into the side so it attaches like so, and then the hook will hold it firm to the box. And then once I've done that, I can then screw this tight. And I can use this if I want. I could put my medium pots on here, so that gives me a little bit more mixing space on the palette. Or I could put my paintbrushes in here. And if I put my medium pot in there, then that gives me a bit more space on the palette to mix the paints and the colours. So probably one of the most common questions that I was getting asked on that YouTube video was, where did I get this folding extendable arm so that I can attach this to this bit of wood, which slides in here, And then I can fold this out with a GoPro on and then film my painting. I bought this folding arm on Amazon and I'll put the link in the description. It cost me £7 and it's really brilliant. It folds up really small, it's lightweight, and I can use this, put this in here. And you can see here the GoPro will film the painting. And then I can mix my paint here and put my brushes and medium pot here. So you can see it gives a bit more space to work with because of this. And the GoPro having it up there, it means I don't need to worry about filming that much at all. I can just literally turn that on and put on a time lapse and film, even if I'm painting out in the jungles of Brazil, somewhere which is really hard to get to. I can just bring that instead of a big tripod and camera. So another thing I want to talk about is the tripod. Now it really does make a massive difference what tripod you use. And I found out the hard way that you don't want a flimsy tripod. What I like about it is it's really sturdy, and you can see this is quite a big base for the box to rest on. That locks in like so. You can choose the angle that you want your box at, and once you've got this in, it's sturdy, it doesn't wobble at the top, there's no movement. Whereas what I had before was I was using this small tripod, which is great in a way that it folds up nice and small, it can get in my bag, and as you can see I put some tape to try and hold it in place. But no matter how tight I twist this, that's just flimsy, and if you see that little area to hold a whole Plein-Air box on, it's just not enough, and it was really unstable, and when the wind would pick up, the box would shake. When I would paint and put the brush stroke down, the box would shake. So although some of these tripods with this ball attachment, maybe they're great if you're going to film on a camera or your phone or something that's quite light, but when you're painting on a Plein-Air box, you really do want something sturdy and strong, because the last thing you want is for the wind to come along and blow your box off the tripod, or for your box to be constantly wobbling all the time whilst you're painting. So I would really suggest getting, if not this exact tripod, make sure you get a strong and sturdy tripod. So you want something like this which has a very strong attachment, and you don't need a huge range of movement. With your box, you just want it to stay steady. You do want a bit of adjustment on the angle so you can see your palette, but honestly, get a simple, sturdy tripod and it will save you so much hassle. So I would suggest buying a tripod like this one. If you want to buy this exact tripod, the link is in the description. So although this tripod doesn't fold up as small as, say, this tripod that I used before, which is light and it's nice to carry around, but as I was saying, it isn't sturdy enough, and you really do want to prioritize a sturdy tripod to hold your box, because as I said, there's nothing worse than having a really flimsy, wobbly box on top of your tripod whilst you're trying to paint. So and it does fold up quite small, and again it's light, but not as light as the small tripod. But if you were to compare it, for example, to what I used to paint on before, which is a Warwick easel, a field easel, which a lot of people like to use to paint on Plein-Air, you can see this tripod still folds up smaller. So it is still easier to fit into a rucksack or your bag when you go traveling. So another question quite a lot of people have been asking me about the box is, does it carry wet paintings? What do you do when you've been painting, you want to pack up, but your painting is still wet? So what I have done is I've created a way of transporting wet paintings, and I've created a whole video on that. So I'll put a link to that at the end of this one. But just to show you quickly how my wet panel carrier works. So if you bring these plastic strips with you that I've made just out of this sort of plastic strip stuff you can get in in hardware stores. If you bring this with you when you go painting, and what you can do is put your painting, say a painting in one side, let's say another painting in there. What you can do is, using your paintings, you can make a panel carrying box like this, held together with this bungee cable. And then once you finish painting, you can loosen this bit here, pull your painting out, and then slide your painting in to your wet panel carrier, and that will keep your painting safe. And then when it comes to packing up, you can unscrew this little tray at the side, pull it out like so, screw this bit on again, and then this bit, which holds your painting in place and holds the GoPro, you can pull that out completely. Loosen the other screw on the other side, and you can keep your paint in there, that's fine. So I keep the paint that I use at the top of the palette like that. If I'm in a rush, I will keep the mixes on there as well, and I can literally just shut the box. This little screw will hold the palette in place. As you can see, if you're moving around a lot, some paint will pick up here, but for the most part, the paint will stay on the palette. So I can close it like this. You can tighten it so that your box won't open again, and then you can unclip it from the tripod like so, pull it off, and then there you've got your box off the tripod. That's good to go back in a rucksack or whatever bag you were carrying it, or even if you want, you can just carry it under your arm. So I hope you found that video useful, and I hope that has helped you improve your Plein-Air box so that you can have a really nice time painting without having to worry about your setup or the wind knocking your box over or anything drastic happening. If you did enjoy that video, remember to please give it that thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, you can click the notification bell so that you get notified about new videos and don't miss out on any top tips. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at George Thomas Artist, and I post almost every day paintings, plein air paintings, portraits, big paintings like the one behind me, so you can keep up to date with my artwork on there. And also, if you have any questions, you can message me on Instagram and I'll get back to you, or comment below in the comment section on YouTube. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.